I'm Mr. L. Will you be an angel for a fluffy pony? Every day, innocent fluffies are abused, beaten, and neglected. But it wasn't always this way. For a moment, let's go back to 2012. My Little Pony and brony culture were rapidly taking off, and with it, new original art and fan fiction. In particular, one story titled My Little Dashie popularized the concept of small, infantile ponies as pets. At around the same time, artist Mixer Mike would post a doodle of the first fluffy pony on 4chan's MLP board, an innocent drawing of Twilight Sparkle with the caption, Fluffy Pone. Mixer Mike would go on to create the popular character Flufflepuff, who is actually not a part of the Fluffy Pony universe, despite being a pony that is fluffy. Drawing fluffy ponies quickly caught on with new artists, and communal discussion was made on the origins and details of these creatures. As early as January 2012, the following headcanons were thought up. Fluffy ponies crave affection, speak in baby talk, have an inexplicable love for spaghetti, and are prone to accidents and death, especially by drowning. They would also speak in fluff speak, a dialect spoken by fluffies that changes L's and R's to W's, along with mispronouncing big words much like a small child. Keep in mind that there is no official fluffy lore. Each creator chooses what to include in their stories. However, over the years, the following general backstory for the fluffies has been commonly accepted. In the near future, a certain pony-themed cartoon had made the company that produced it, Hasbro, into a giant supercorporation. To further capitalize on the success of the show, they created a genetic engineering branch of the company called HasBio. In HasBio labs, ethically questionable research was done to create the perfect product to sell across the world. Real, cuddly versions of the television ponies that you can keep as pets. These are known to be the world's first bio-toys, biologically engineered living beings designed to be sold and marketed as a toy. Genetically programmed into these fluffy, dog-sized creatures is an innate desire for love and hugs. Like in the cartoon it's based off, the fluffy ponies come in 4 different races: unicorns, pegasi, earth ponies, and very rarely, alicorns. However, unlike in the show, these differences are only aesthetic. Their horns cannot perform magic, and their wings are small and unable to fly. After hearing about the genetic experimentation, real-life animal activist group PETA declared these experiments abominable. They infiltrated HasBio labs and released the prototype fluffy ponies into the wild. This turned out to be an extremely short-sighted decision. They are not designed to live outside of a home or store, and they have an incredibly high breeding rate, which soon led to the population growing exponentially. The rest of the world soon came across these cuddly creatures and began to breed and sell them. The majority still found themselves roaming the streets, becoming feral and aggressive, and labeled as vermin for their invasive and scavenging ways. Soon enough, fluffy corpses and feces on the streets and in the sewers become enough of a problem that the government stepped in and declared fluffy ponies a public health concern and encouraged the people to dispose of them on site. This legal justification, combined with the cuteness aggression they cause, has led to a culture of abuse, torture, and mutilation to fluffies as an outlet for feelings of aggression and sadism. Because of their original intention to be bio-toys, fluffy ponies have weak skeletal density and muscles. Even their hooves are unlike a regular horse's. Instead of hard hooves, they have soft, leathery pads, likely to prevent accidental injury to children. Feral fluffies can develop thick calluses on their feet, allowing them to walk on harsh surfaces and cause more damage with their hooves. The marvel of the fluffy reproductive system is what allows them to maintain their population's numbers, despite their short life expectancy. Adult male and female fluffies instinctively mate on sight, causing a near-guaranteed pregnancy. Fluffy pregnancy lasts 3 to 4 weeks and only requires a day in between pregnancies. A litter of 3 to 5 fluffy ponies are born at a time, but not all of them may survive to adulthood. A mother inspects her litter upon birth, and some can cast some harsh judgment on the newborn foal. If a mother does not like one of her foals due to a physical defect, she may dub them a bad baby and treat them significantly worse than the others. When food is scarce, they commonly become nourishment for the mother, so she can produce milk from her enlarged mammaries to her other foals. Once a fluffy pony can eat solid foods, they become omnivorous. Their owner will put them on a steady diet of kibble and spaghetti as a rare treat. For some reason, fluffies have an instinctual love for spaghetti coded into their DNA and will request it by name, Sketties. Fluffies are held in a caste system based on their fur colors. Light and brightly multicolored ones are in high demand, while brown and dark colors are usually rejected and often put to sleep early. Owning a fluffy pony requires housebreaking them to use a litter box, as they are indoor creatures. A fluffy pony is likely to accidentally release itself on the floor, especially when under duress. Fluffy ponies are also very likely to die at the hands of themselves, usually by getting into some sort of accident. They have an inborn fear of sorry sticks and respond obediently to the threat of physical violence. The fluffy pony content found on the web can be broken into 5 main groups: Weirdbox, Abuse, Smarty Abuse, Hugbox, and Sadbox. Weirdbox was more common at the beginning of the community, where just the mere idea of fluffy ponies were a joke themselves. Weirdbox involves abstract situations for the ponies, throwing any remaining logic of the world out of the window. In early fluffy stories, it was common for a pregnant mare to swell up and explode in a pile of fluff during birth, leaving behind only her litter. Fluffy abuse is the most popular genre of fluffy content. Abusers derive satisfaction from seeing these helpless, innocent creatures suffer in a plethora of ways. Fluffy abuse was originally made in retaliation to the nauseatingly cute and cuddly fluffy threads, but many users found some catharsis in watching these idealistic creatures find out the hard way that the world is not all love and huggies. Abuse can be physical torture, such as pulling a limb off, but it can also be psychological, like forcing a mother to decide between the lives of her foals. Fluffy abuse goes to some strange, dark places, like the concept of turning quadruple amputee fluffies into a litter pal, a fluffy trapped in a box tasked with orally cleaning up the poopies of the other fluffies. Smarty abuse is the same as regular fluffy abuse, but with different context. A fluffy pony with Smarty syndrome is the opposite of an ideal fluffy: aggressive, assertive, and suicidally arrogant. These ponies declare themselves the leaders of their clueless, feral herds and regularly become drunk with power and authority, some even having the audacity to demand food and shelter from humans directly. The abuse that comes to these fluffies is different, in that they usually have it coming. Smarties exemplify the worst aspects of humanity, and some find satisfaction in seeing them get their comeuppance. Hugbox focuses on the everyday life and happiness of our fluffy pony friends. Hugbox shines a little light on the dark world of fluffy ponies and reminds us it's not all just gore and torture sometimes. Perhaps the most intriguing fluffy art of all is Sadbox. Sadbox shows us the emotional pain of fluffies, portraying how they react to and cope with tragedy. These stories usually show the futility of a fluffy pony's struggle against the natural world that it doesn't belong in. Things like loneliness and neglect can break a fluffy pony's spirit, causing permanent trauma and begging for death by repeating "Wan die." A common scenario for Sadbox is a fluffy becoming a pillow fluff, a politically correct term for a quadruple amputee fluffy. These fluffies will still fruitlessly try to run and play with other fluffies. Their low intellect leads them to not fully comprehending the situation they're in. Pillow fluffs hold the belief that their legs can be magically returned to them one day, and they can play with other fluffies again. The fluffy pony community as of today is making a small comeback after once declining and becoming scattered. Fluffy ponies have been long since banned on 4chan, leaving the community to reside in Fluffy Buru, the hosting website for fluffy images and stories since 2012. Fluffy Buru went down in 2020 and the community splintered, being forced to bunker in subreddits. Months later, the fluffy pony community would find their new and current home to be at fluffy-community.com, where the community is slowly growing once again. Here, fluffy art of all genres is uploaded daily, and a backup of the old fluffy art from the Buru has been uploaded as well. Right now, there's a fluffy who needs you. Your sub says, "I'm here to help." Please subscribe right now to support the Fluffy Pony Foundation.